So this program is a design build class, a summer design build class for the architecture students at the Tower School of Art. So yes, this is the second year of the program, and this year I think the program has changed. We learned a lot from the first year, and we took really understanding of experimentation before this class happened, and did a lot more experiments beforehand, so that the Institute, or during their time here, they're able to really get into the work right away, instead of a lot of the experimentation having to happen during the class time. So these projects are installations for wildlife. They're designed for, they're non-human design projects. And these installations are relatively small, 4 by 10, 6 by 10 by 10 feet. And the goal is to have them installed on the Ambler campus, and that they will interact with for what they are designed for the wildlife. And so there's one for foxes, there's one for butterflies, there's one for frogs, etc. So we've really touched on many different species on the campus.
For me, the goal of the project is moving something from a conceptual, digitally conceived project that they worked on throughout the past semester into something that's now kind of the physical realization of that, and making sure that through that process, each one of these pieces is not kind of diminished in that act of actually fabricating it, but gains new life, and through the craft process, through using blunt tools like saws and sanders and other physical tools, that act of actually making this thing real is something that that makes it better through the process.
So this year there is 28 students involved here. Last year we had 18, so there's been an increase in the number of students. And we've broken it out into 5 different projects, and the teams, because we've had a larger class size, the teams are more substantial. So the work has actually been able to be more, how do you call it, I guess more detailed and more ambitious. So the students were given parameters in regards to the size of the project, but also the materials and the equipment that was available here at the campus. And so this is a great facility, a large facility, but most of the projects are wood with some metal involved. There are some that are using yarn and ribbons to create surfaces to weave, but basically that's the types of materials, and of course just the parameters being the size. We've worked with Amy Freestone and Kathy Salisbury in regards to location, and plus other faculty here on campus, to really coordinate with them, make sure that we weren't doing anything that was going to impose on the wildlife here, and impose on the research by the field station, or even the horticulture, and making sure the gardens weren't disrupted. And so we're trying to be respectful to those conditions, but also hopefully helping. So the final day of class is the 22nd of June. So they have a little more than 2 weeks left. And at that time, there's going to be a walk around of each installation to review them and talk about them to the campus and to visiting critics. So really responding to a deadline is something that as architects we have to do. Our clients require that, of course. And so having that deadline of the end of the semester and meeting that in a very short period of time, this is only a 6-week class, that pressure is actually helps them coalesce into teams and really forces them to work with each other. And that's something that's a skill set that we really hope gets, just they work on that throughout the time they're in class. So the benefits of the Summer Institute and this hands-on experience is something that as architects, we don't actually get to build our buildings. We have to hand off the designs to contractors and people that have those skills in building. But this process of learning how to make and how to build makes our designs more informed. And they're informed in a way that actually connects with the people that are actually building the designs. And so by doing that, that common language that comes out of that commonality and understanding allows our designs to be executed at a very high level. And that's what we hope that the students really are learning, that it's more than just drawings. It's actually what are we drawing and why are we drawing it. So the benefits of having the Innovation Studio and the resources at Ambler have been that it really gives us a lot more freedom than what we might have in our building in the main campus. We have a lot more space. There's a lot more flexibility. Ambler has provided a lot of support to the program and been very focused on this program. So there's been both the support on space and also the vision of the program.
So I think one of the major benefits is just seeing that active translation from the kind of speculative to the real is really unique and not something that that these students have a ton of opportunity to do, or that there's opportunity in across the board in architecture school for. So that's one side of it. And then the other side of it is something that I think about quite a bit, which is the relationship between craft and precision, and the kind of hyper precision that you can have during a design exercise versus the kind of real life accommodations that you have to make when you're actually physically crafting something. And I think on the one hand, and back to the original point of having limited opportunities to actually make things full scale, it's a really eye-opening experience, I think, for students to go through that process of trying to find ways to make things better through the act of making something at full scale.
What we hope that this program will do, and what the benefits are for these students, is that they can realize their designs through making and through the one-to-one connection of making, and that it will inform them in the profession as they go out into the profession, that it's more than drawing, and that through the drawing process, all this information they're learning about making gets connected into what they draw and what they ultimately will get built.